right, welcome back. So right now we're going to install a window. So the way you do it here is the better method. There's a residential good, just barely minimum kind of method where you just put a sill down and you'd wrap the Tyvek in. But here what we're going to do is a full pre-wrap and then the window caulked in place and then a post-wrap. So I'll show you that kind of method. Ideally is we'd have a one piece for the sill. It's a flex wrap. It can stretch around, but for this we don't have that, which is okay. So I'll show you, if you don't have it, what you would do and what you would use, okay? Before getting started, you want to measure your rough opening compared to your window. So that should have been QC'd during the framing process. So in this case, we got a 2030 window. What does that mean, 2030?
20 inches wide by 30 inches.
That is not right.
20 inches by 30 inches?
Nope, that is not
2
right.
foot wide by 3 foot high.
2 foot,
It's
0
always wide
inches
first, width
by
first, then
3
height.
foot, 0 inches tall. It is always width then height. If you ordered a 3020, it's made to go horizontal. And looking at the window right here, we got weep holes down there on the bottom, okay? It's not made to go horizontally. They need to be on the bottom. Otherwise, the weep holes are, water gets in and it can drain out. If you don't have them on the bottom, water gets in and it freezes, breaks your window apart, okay? So commonly and typically a vinyl window is undersized that rough opening. Make sure if you have a custom window that you're checking that window compared to a rough opening so your rough opening is big enough. So in this case, I've checked my rough openings, not quite plumb. Okay, so it's a little bit out of plumb, but I need my window to be plumb for my trim and everything else, and that's the right way to do it. As well, it needs to be level, okay? Your rough opening needs to be big enough for that. Also, for a rough opening, it needs your QC. So I need a 2030. The minimum width is 2 foot 0 inches. Minimum height is 3 foot 0 inches. It can be a little bit bigger, it's not smaller. Okay, and then you can't do all these shimmying and everything that you need to do. Okay, for us, on the inside, I got a 23.5 inches. Well, here I got 24 3/4. It's considerably bigger than probably what it should be. So it was framed incorrectly. It's probably borderline too big. Okay, so we'll see. But right here, this is out of plumb, so I need the bottom to shift over, so it's gonna be borderline big. It's okay to have a bigger gap on the inside. That gets filled with spray foam and gets caulked, okay? Also, if your framing is not plumb on the inside, sheetrock needs to go plumb, so all your interior trim and everything else does better. Otherwise, you're doing a lot of shimming with your interior trim, okay? All right, so check in for height. The height is, let's see, we got right at 3 foot, if it's level. And on my height of my window, I have 35.5 inches. So this is a real good window. I like this window. Gel Wind makes one, but it's not undersized, in my opinion, enough. Okay, or at least the ones I'm used to. Okay, so that 1/2 inch is just minimum of what you need. So 1/4 inch all the way around and equaled in its whole. Okay. All right, now getting started with the pre-wrap. I'm gonna be using a peel and stick. It's a self-healing. This particular product is a Grace product. Okay, making sure that the material you use is compatible with your WRV. In this case, it is, so we're gonna use this. So I'm gonna need one of you to step up over here and help me. Attaboy. All right, so what we're gonna first start off is we're gonna have one piece going about 3 inches past. 3 inches past. I'm gonna do a cut. So we're working on the sill, the 2-step sill. And it's gonna be equal up here, 3 inches, 3 inches up, 3 inches down, and we have a 6-inch peel and stick. Let's just put this right here, okay? Okay, hold up, go up with it about 3 inches.
50-50?
Up, about there.
50-50?
Okay, go left a little bit, right about there. Okay, this part. And also, one of the requirements in the specifications is that you're actually rolling it on, and it gets it into the material.
The specified proprietary roller.
Okay. Next thing is you're going to do an upward cut from the corner. So find that corner. Upward. Finding a corner. Upward, and then roll it in. Trying your best not to have any sort of wrinkles whatsoever in it, and you roll that as well out the field. Okay. I'm not going to roll it and press it real hard because we're also going to have to rip this off at the end of the week. Okay. So the next piece that you're going to do this time is what's called a bow tie. They make other products that are super sticky for it, but what we're going to actually cut is a bow tie. Like this. You're going to want about at least 1 inch right here in the center. Okay? See? Bow tie.
So,
Here. Hold that.
so very nice.
Make one more. The best method also for the sill is that this sill has a slope to it. So water's always shedding outward. Okay? So we got a bow tie. Go ahead and peel yours. Okay. It's gonna go right like this, right here in the corner. And then not letting this stick because you're gonna bend it over. And into the corner. Nice and tight like this with your speed square. Okay? Here, use this one. Nice and tight, so this is folded in and pressing it in. All the way as tight as you can. If there's any rounded edge, it just starts taking up space and then window might not fit. Okay, so you got that. Nice. Then we got another piece. So this is the first step of the 2 on the sill. Next one, you're gonna go about 6 inches up, 4 to 6 inches, hold that there. I'm gonna make a cut right here. And how much it rolls in on the inside, it just needs to go past the inside flange of this inside so that you can caulk to it and caulk to the window. Okay? That seals the inside, keeping moisture to the outside. So now on the inside, come over here, Francisco. Nope, it's gonna be right out here. So what we're trying to do is making sure we're equal. So come to your way, yeah, probably about there. Here, and then you don't get it all the way in yet without using this way. Yeah, like this, and up. So I'm a little crooked on mine. Then out here on this end, you want to come out about a 1/4 inch. It can even be a little bit more. I'm right about 1/2 inch out from the corner. Out more. Out. You're right in the corner. Don't go to the corner. Come out. There you go.
And then cut all the way out.
And then cut straight out. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to stretch this like that. Keeping down, stretching down, stretching down. Pushing it over. Stuff sticks to itself real well, huh? Yeah. Got it? Yeah. Rolling it in place. Rolling it in place. Now the sill's done, and this corner is the most vulnerable spot by when we stretch it over and having the bow tie it's protected well, okay? Now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go up to the sides, but we gotta do a bow tie up here and up there on the top first, okay? So we'll cut some bow ties. Okay, so we got our bow tie first. Now we're gonna do the sides, and then we'll come back and we'll do the head. And that's all part of the full pre-wrap for this, okay? If you just took the Tyvek and went in, air is gonna be behind here coming in and all the way into the house. Air comes in, what's it bring with it?
Water.
Moisture, water, okay? So you wanna go about 3 inches past. Hold that up there. 3 inches past, about 3 inches below. Let's do that one more time. The other side. Too much. Right there. 3 inches. Okay. So get ready with your knife. All right, so for here, you're gonna want half on, half off. When you go up to the top, it's gonna be folded, so you don't want it pressing yet. Okay, so I'm gonna go half on, half off. And I got it folded like this, see my hand? So your right hand's not folded. Okay, for one, it's gotta go underneath that. And then you can come down, like this, coming down. If you had a real tall window, and if you needed to, you can always measure over and make actually marks with Sharpies if you can't quite line up. Okay? When you get down to the bottom, don't stick this side yet. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this inside corner, I'm cutting this bottom corner out. So you got to be real careful as you're not cutting through the underpiece, the underside. And it's easier to cut from this side than it is from that side.
Go right through.
So that one right now, you're borderline too small on this side. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to add another piece to it because it doesn't wrap inside enough. Okay? But we'll do this one and then we'll fix that one. Now this one, it's different than that one. This one is a cut upward.
Cut that piece off, just now. Cut that piece off.
If you looked at the Grayson water shield, and it's actually, I'm quoting here, an extreme exposure, this is how you do it. Okay, which is the industry's going towards that because they're realizing, hey, if we do a minimum and it's not quite perfect, or even just the minimum, leaking's happening, rotting's happening. Okay? So I cut up and I cut the corner out. Then I'm gonna wrap in, and then when it gets over here on this side, it wraps under and up. So ideally, this would have been up 3 inches, so I was a little short there as well.
How'd you cut that?
Up. Yep, from the other side, go to the corner and you're cutting up. Other side,
That's not up.
there you go. And just don't cut through the piece underneath it. Okay? Stretch in your piece so that you're maintaining no wrinkles. Like that.
It goes in like this.
Yep, exactly like that. So technically on the inside, I got about 1.25 inches, so I want it sticking in at least 2 inches, 1.75 inches. So if I don't have that, then we'll have to add another piece, which I have 1.75 inches, so that's just like the bare minimum of what we do need. Okay, so this side's gonna work just barely. So working all the wrinkles out of it. And then also coming back with the roller, J roller, and rolling this edge. Okay, it should also be rolled here, but I'm not going to roll it because I got to rip it off. Okay.
And would you cap tack that after?
No, it sticks well enough. If it's real cold out and not wanting to stick too well, you'd have to get a heat gun and heat up the material, and then it'll stick super well. Also, this material right here, this doesn't stick worth a darn if it's wet or damp. Okay, so it does need to be dry. Okay. Now the next one is up here on the head. I want to go past it on this side, past it on that side. I don't want to be short and there becomes a little corner where there's a horizontal seam. So I'm going to go past it, past it. So this cut's going to be different than the sides. It's different than the bottom. Devin, well, actually you're tall too. I might be able to reach it. Ready? Yep. Okay, set that down. Hold that side. Let me catch up to you. Pull it your way a little. Okay, so we want half on and half below. So you got to eyeball your half on. So you want your way up high, so you got to come down. Right there. Yeah, right about there. And you, let's see, can we pull that off a little? I want to come your way about right about there. Okay. Where is that?
About halfway.
That'll work, but we don't want to stick this side right here yet. Okay. So it's going to go right up here. Then I'm going to take my knife right here in the corner. I'm going to do a horizontal cut backwards. So to my right, and then this right here in the corner, finding it, being real extra careful not to cut the piece underneath it. Ready? So I want to be right here in the middle first, stretching it, and you got to go real tight into that corner. If it's rounded, so you need a tool like this, or they also make plastic putty knives work good. I'm just working it over. Like that piece underneath it was rolled just a bit. And now this gets worse and worse. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, very good. And that can get rolled with the J roller. That's good. Okay? All right. Go ahead and pause that. All right, now we got our window. We're just about ready to install our window. Something that does have to be done. This is the back side of the window. It's what's on the inside. This edge all around needs to get cleaned real well. Manufacturers, for whatever reason, they put these stickers right here on this edge. And the other thing is they don't, well, actually this must be a good manufacturer that other manufacturers, when you peel them off, you have all this residue on it. That all has to come off. Otherwise nothing's really sticking to that paper and water can whip through that paper, okay? When I say paper, the sticker is like a paper product. This all's got to get cleaned real well with like a denatured alcohol. For right now, if you're living in California, you can't use denatured alcohol, you're using mineral spirits or something else. Okay, so all of this, all the way around, gets cleaned real well. Obviously, I'm not using denatured alcohol, but partly we're going to be turning it back off. Okay, something I had in class, so it's ready, just about ready. I'm gonna need to caulk it, okay? What I do want you guys to do is I wanna see, this is my magic caulking pen, okay? I wanna see you actually write it on here, right here, all the way up on the sides, the top, going across, sides, and right here, right on the corner. Don't come over a bunch, okay? Just right there on that corner. And then a bunch right here in this corner here. Do I go across the bottom?
No.
Why?
It's got a drain.
It's got a drain, that's right, okay?
You gotta have somewhere to dump stuff out the window.
Well, I want to see that. Also, I need to put a shim in here. As you can see, I'm slightly out of level. Okay, I have a 1/2 inch bigger than what the window is. So I want to kind of equal that height as well. But I also need a level. So if I used an 1/8 inch shim, that got me almost level. I'm gonna put a 1/16 on this side. I'm trying to get it up off the surface so that it also can have some drainage as well. But at the same time, if this is level, then it'll be plumb, and then we're also gonna be checking it for square. Okay? 1/4 inch, so I'm gonna add an 1/8 here. I'm gonna put another 1/8 on this other side. Ideally, you're not using wood shims because if moisture gets there, it's gonna retain moisture.
Also pay attention to the weight.
That's level. So come on over. You see, level is perfectly between the lines. It's not in the lines, right? So we're level, okay? Kind of double checking that I'm actually gonna fit in the corner because this creates buildup, which I'm going to fit. Okay. All right. So I got it caulked. I got it cleaned. I'm just about ready. Coming in. So I want you. It's a big, heavy window. We're gonna do the bottom first. Bottom first. Setting in. Okay. And then we gotta pull this out. I gotta shift. So you're like way in there, dude. There we go. Okay. I gotta look at it. So you're gonna go on the ins. All right, you got it? And it's looking like I'm looking, so my rough opening currently is too big. Okay, how I'm gonna put a screw is gonna be on the outside to hold it. Okay, but that rough opening should have been fixed. Okay, so can you hold, nope, don't do that. I got right where I had it, needed it. Okay, so you just hold it right here. Okay, I'm gonna check it for plumb, which it looks like it's out of plumb, so those shims might have moved, and they did. You gotta pull that back out, lean it out. So somehow our shims,
Like Scotch tape or something, keep those shims in place.
so like this 1/8.
Caulking, hold them in place.
That side, I got
Also,
this side.
Those shims are pointing out like that. If you turn the other way, they'll hold water and run back into the building.
No, the open side is this way.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm just talking.
Oh, gotcha. I understand I'm doing something wrong. You got the window? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Explaining the details that matter.
That is true. That is something I didn't. So perfectly level. Or I mean plumb. Huh. Put your hand. Perfectly level. Okay, you got a hold of it. Mm-hmm. So using a screw like that, pan head. So I'm going to use it on this side here. One. So for you all, those rest of those rough openings, they got QC'd, they're well, at least these 3. So you need to QC those other ones. Ideally, you're gonna have right in that slot, centered in the slot, not at the top of the slot, not the bottom. It allows for the framing actually to move, okay? Because if it's wet, things are gonna shrink, okay? And it's gonna move. Let go? Yep. Do another one right out here on this side. Of course, don't use the self-tapper ones, and these also should be longer. But that's what we got. Nothing best, okay? That. So up at the top, they make washers that are big fender washers. This, about that big, small hole in the center. You should have a pile of those when you're installing windows. Okay. You don't screw, so the manufacturer does say to screw the top, but here's the reality of what things happen. When you have multi-story buildings, as you're adding weight to the top, the wood's shrinking, it's drying out, it's gonna shrink, and then you're creating pressure, things compress down, okay? As the weight above is compressing down on this header, if I'm drilled into the flange of the top directly, it puts downward pressure on the window itself, can cause your windows actually to fail. And I've had that happen on jobs before, okay? Using that fender washer, kind of like it's doing here, is lapping over on top, but keep about a 1/4 to 1/2 inch space between the screw and the top of the flange. Okay, for this, if I had that, it's gonna be just more or less like that. Okay, not putting any screws down there on the bottom. Give me a different screw. That one's a self-tapper. Just a pointer. There we go. Like that. Okay. Now, on this outside edge, that would have to get cleaned real well, because now we're ready for the post wrap. Post being, it's after the window. Okay? So this would all have to get cleaned real well with denatured alcohol, okay? So now we're on to the post wrap. So I need at least 3 to 4 inches on the sides. So what we actually did is we took our 6-inch, ripped it in half, okay? Need to go up to here. The reason we got blue tape is just so we can tear this off later and not ruin our windows. Okay, but do not use blue tape out in the field. Also, you're gonna be cleaning that flange real well with the denatured alcohol or mineral spirits, okay? You want it to stick, and it needs to be tight into the corner, the straight edge of the cut, the factory edge, not your cut edge.
Both sides.
Both sides, yep. And you'll also get a J roller. Roll this. So now when we put trim over it and we nail through it, it self-heals, not creating a leak to the inside. Okay. Okay, I got that next piece can be a same set. So like this one will be great for those lines too. Hold that there. This is gonna be for the top. I'm just getting the measurement.
Ain't folded weird or doing anything.
Oh, I'm gonna go right across it. And let's say if I'm doing it by myself, go ahead, I'll hold it. I'll hold this plastic still on it. Tight into the corner there of the window. And then I can pull this out as I need it. Right, like that. I have my J roller. Like that, okay? This doesn't get flapped down yet. Now what we're gonna get is we're gonna get a metal flashing over top of it, okay? And you can refer back to one of my other videos for how do you bend that flashing for this top, okay? Go ahead and pause it. Here it's now the apprentice's turn to do the process. They start with their pre-wrap for the peel and stick, and then install the windows with caulking. A reminder, the blue tape is only for class, not for out in the field. And then the post wrap. After the post wrap, you're gonna see the metal flashing gets installed. Here you can see the metal flashing. It's bent upward on the sides. It can also be bent downwards as well. Two different ways of doing it. The peel and stick gets added afterwards, held up a 1/2 inch or an inch from the bottom inside corner. And then the Tyvek gets flapped down with tape on each side. And that's it for a window and flashing. Like always, be safe out there.